Well, Chris, it's good to be here. This time we're on my back porch instead of your front porch.
Different porch.
A different porch.
Sun's out. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah. Well, I am excited about having the whole church back together.
Yeah, I am too. You know, the 24th is going to be a big date for us as a congregation. You know, we've been talking about the fact that the church has been meeting. It's just not been together.
Yeah.
You know, the church continues, but it's just going to be a great blessing to be back together and be able to see each other's smiling faces and be able to worship and sing together. And I'm really looking forward to that.
Yes. I think everybody is. Everybody that I've talked to, at least.
Absolutely.
The one thing about that, though, is as we gather together, it's going to be it's still important. The whole social distancing thing is an important thing.
Yeah, we've been talking about how, you know, we're trying to be responsible as citizens of our state and of our country, and trying to be respectful of what the government's been saying, and so we're trying to find that kind of that balance line about being together, but also doing what we're being asked to do as Americans and as Ohioans. So.
Yeah. You know, that's why we're asking people to keep that 6-foot distance. That'll be somewhat difficult at church with people coming in and out of pews and those kinds of things. But I think, you know, we can all be just careful of one another.
Sure.
And do that. We are going to have every other pew closed off.
Right.
So allow 6-foot front to back distance there, and then, you know, families can all sit right close together.
Yeah, someone was asking me that question, you know, are we going to make families split apart? And we're absolutely not. You know, social distancing is for the family unit, you know, not for the family itself to have to spread out. So yeah, we want to keep families together, and we know that that's going to be a struggle. You know, we've already talked about the fact that, you know, we're not going to be able to have junior church and nursery at this time. So that makes a little bit more of a challenge for those that have younger kids, trying to corral them together. But, you know, we love our kids, and we want this to be a family service as best as we can. So stick together, and then we'll have some space between the pews and between the pew itself. So.
Right. You know, that brings us to the whole issue of masks.
Yeah.
And masks are... actually, it's kind of sad how quickly that has become a divisive issue just in our culture around us.
Very quickly.
Yeah, in some of the news media and some of the stuff with the president, and there's been a lot of shaming over having masks or not. I saw a thing the other day that showed as soon as the cameras went off, the masks came off.
Yeah.
And when the cameras went on, the mask went on. You know, and.
Well, and it's one of those things that, you know, we've had kind of conflicting stories about. You know, from the very beginning, you know, we were told don't buy masks. You don't need a mask. You know, that's not going to help you. And then all of a sudden, you know, it was everybody needs a mask. Yeah. And I think, you know, you were telling me earlier about how you were reading 2 different articles from reputable
both by doctors. Yeah, both by doctors. One was a neurosurgeon and one was a contagious disease doctor. Both of them in their articles were saying we need to use some common sense here. Right? Both of them said that, and then one of them was everybody needs to be wearing masks, and the other one was masks don't help. They are even dangerous for the people that are wearing them. And so totally conflicting opinions, both by respected doctors.
People who should and know a lot and know what their field is and understand it. So you're getting a lot of that conflict. And even, you know, with the governor, you know, originally Governor DeWine said that everybody had to wear a mask, and then it was going to be required,
mandatory,
and then it was backed off that, you know, it's highly encouraged, but, you know, everyone needs to do their own thing. So so we as a church, you know, kind of made that decision that if you feel like you need to wear a mask, wear a mask. But it's not going to be required.
Right. We want to treat people like adults.
Exactly.
Make your own decisions, and go with those. But the big thing that I want to be careful with, or we as a church want to be careful with, is that we don't start making judgments about people
Right.
based upon whether they're mask wearers or not mask wearers.
Right, and that's what we've been getting a lot in our society, is that, even if I'm out, getting some groceries or something,
Yeah.
you see people looking at others that are wearing masks or not wearing masks, and there can be definitely this division. If what you're doing, we just want to leave that to the world, not for the church.
Well, I think the reality is that there are two very different sets of opinions about this whole virus situation.
Yeah.
And the one set of opinions is we need to totally separate and isolate and wear the mask and do everything we can to make sure that we keep everybody safe.
Right.
And by doing that, we are showing love towards one another.
Sure.
And then the other perspective is that this whole thing is way overblown.
Right.
And that if we allow people to interact with each other, then we'll build up a immunity to the virus, and that it's just as important, if not more important, to keep people working so that they
Sure.
have income, so that they can continue to feed their families, and that we don't destroy our entire economy.
Right, and at the end of the day, you're looking at there are no great options.
Yeah.
And so, and that's kind of where we're at, with the virus and with masks and with all of it, is there's not a great option. We're not going to just stay home and not do anything for the next year and a half, 2 years. So we just want to encourage you that if you feel more comfortable wearing a mask and you feel that that's what you need to do, by all means. And but if you feel that you don't need to wear a mask, it's okay.
And the continuation of that thought then is, if I'm wearing a mask and you're not, that I not judge you,
Right.
and that you not judge me,
Right.
but rather that we love each other.
Exactly. If we can keep that mindset that we're all at different places and we're trying to be careful to protect one another, because we do love one another. I don't want you to get sick. I don't want anyone to get sick. And I don't want anything that I would be carrying to make anyone sick. And so there's a lot of decisions that go in that. But I think you said the right phrase there just a minute ago, that we trust that everyone's adults and they can make that decision for themselves. And I'm trusting that you're praying about it and you're asking God's guidance, and whatever you believe is the best thing for you and your family, then that's what's best for you. And it's not my place to judge, if you're not wearing a mask or wearing a mask. That's not my place. My place is to just kind of take care of where I'm at and what I'm feeling is the best option.
And you can take this whole conversation and apply it to the 6-foot social distancing thing
Right.
as well. That somebody might want to come up and give you a hug, but you're saying, whoa, stay back. you
Right.
know? And it's the same thing of honoring one another and looking to what's best for their interest. And so if you're a hugger and somebody doesn't want to be hugged, hey, don't hug them.
That's okay.
That's okay.
And that's what we need to keep in mind, is that not everyone is at the same point of thought process as where
Right.
we might be at or where you might be at. And that's where, Paul talks about bearing with one another in love.
Yeah.
And I think, that is true in so many areas of our life, but that's true right now, that we need to bear with one another in love. That we're not looking down on each other, but we are just understanding that this is where we're at right now.
Yeah. And that we are a family. Even
We
if
are.
we have differing opinions,
Yeah.
we can still love one another. We can still fellowship with one another. We can still value one another. We don't have to be lockstep on absolutely everything
Yeah.
in order to be brothers and sisters in Christ.
That's another bigger issue that we expect the church to be lockstep, that we're all thinking exactly the same way and we have the same perspective about doctrine and about life in general. And God just didn't make us that way. God made us to have a lot of variety of thought, and as long as we got the big core issues the same, we have a lot of opportunities for agreeing to disagree.
Well, that is a huge conversation, much more than we're
Yeah, we're not
able to
doing
take
that
on
today.
right now. So,
But it's the same idea.
Yeah.
Is that we're all looking at this with a different mindset. We just need to bear with one another, love one another, and give allowances that we're not going to be looking down on a brother or sister in Christ because they are or are not wearing masks. But be respectful. Be respectful that the whole idea of not hugging, not handshaking. It feels weird. Now I know on the 24th it's going to feel weird that when people walk in, instinctively, we go out and we instinctively, go for a hug. It's just what we've been used
always
to.
done.
And so for now, we need to show our love for one another a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
And we'll all adjust, and it will be great.
Right.
But we just wanted to make sure that we've communicated well this thought of let's value one another, let's not judge each other.
Let's respect each other.
Exactly.
We're brothers and sisters in Christ.
And we know that you're going to do this because we've been around you. But we just wanted to make sure it was said.
Absolutely.
All right.
And we're looking forward to being together again. And we can't wait to see you on the 24th and then after the 24th as well. It's not just going to be one Sunday. We're back together.
Okay, Chris, it's time to stop this video.
It is time to stop the video.
Yeah,
so
keep
we'll
going.
see you really soon.
Bye now.